Mark Reardon, head coach of the St. Augustine Prep Hermits. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, thanks for joining us. I know you probably got a lot of film work to do and all that stuff, but glad you're taking a few minutes with us. Tell us about this Hermits team this year and how you guys have been getting it done. Obviously still undefeated, Cape Atlantic League American Conference champions, a number one team in South Jersey. A little bit overwhelming for you, or did you kind of expect this season?
I don't know if overwhelming is right, and I'm not sure if you ever expect it. I mean, it's one of those deals where if you're preaching a week-to-week thing and you're doing the things that are necessary over the course of the summer and preseason, then it's one of those things where your expectation levels are high, but there's some luck that goes into this thing, and a lot of different things have to happen for you to win 8 games in a row, and health is very important with the kids as well. So we've managed to stay healthy, and we played fairly well.
You guys got off with a great start, beating St. Joe's in the first game, ended their 21-game winning streak. How much of a confidence boost was that for these guys? I know you had a real good year last year and had a lot of good players returning, but to get a win like that first game of the season really propelled you guys into what you are now.
Yeah, I think it did. But again, we scrimmaged LaSalle, who was a really good football team coming into the season, and we did a fairly good job against them. So we thought we'd be solid this year. But when you play a program like St. Joe, they're our rival, and you come away with the victory, especially to start the season, it can have significant effect on the next few games you play. But after that, it's just a week-to-week grind that keeping the kids focused after all their kids
right.
on really what their task at hand is, and that's to compete and play well every week.
Last year you had a guy named Lamont Harris who was one of the Cape Atlantic League's leading rushers, and this year you turned to Kyle Dobbins, who kind of broke onto the scene last year a little bit in a Thanksgiving game, really gave Cedar Creek fits, and I think the ability to have him carry the ball 15 to 20, 25 times a game and really be that featured back has really opened things up a lot for you. You have guys like Ezekiel Ennis on the outside, Shamir Collins, and so many options for Jose Tabora. We actually had him on at the top of the hour. Offensively, you guys really have quite a dynamic offensive group. Talk about them a little bit.
I think, we have a great mix. We have some young skill kids who can really go, and they're very, very athletic, and they can make a lot of plays. And then we have a really solid group up front, mostly seniors that have committed to the weight room and have done a great job over the course of their 4 years of preparing for the seasons the way they prepared. And then you have a senior quarterback who's in command of what you're doing and can get you in and out of plays. I mean, we do a lot of different things with Jose that we couldn't do with other quarterbacks who don't have his experience, from checking in and out of stuff to making decisions on hot reads and things like that he's really been the difference when teams like Vineland did last night and did a good job with it of loading the box to stop Kyle. You have to be able to throw the ball, and you have to be able to throw it consistently and to the right spot. It's not just about dropping back and chucking it, but whether it's you're checking in and out of a bubble screen or a hitch or something like that, because the numbers dictate that, Jose's got to be able to do that, and he does a great job with it.
We're talking with Mark Reardon here on the South Jersey Sports Report on 97.3 ESPN, head coach at St. Augustine Prep. Coach, when you talk about this offense and you mentioned Jose Tabora as a senior quarterback, how important is that to any good season, is to have that upper-class quarterback who's been through it all, who can now do more things. He can make, all kind of different progressions. He's had that experience, and it really gives you so many options on offense when you have a guy like that who can sort of direct things. And you guys have shown the ability to run it 45 times if you have to, pass it 30 times if you have to.
Well, it's about winning the game, and it's about being productive doing that. And every week we game plan for our opponent, and we make some decisions how we're going to handle specific teams. Well, if the team decides they're going to do something different against us, that's an in-game adjustment, and you have to have a quarterback that can handle that, and you have to have a quarterback where you can go back in your play selection. And Charlie does an awesome job in game, as good as anybody I've ever been around in terms of, and he's our offensive coordinator, Charlie Roman, as good as anybody I've ever been around with making a decision in game how we're going to win the game. Well, that's great if he's making that decision, but your quarterback has to execute it. And Jose can do that. And it's a luxury that we have, and he's really done an unbelievable job with it.
Now, when your offense is averaging, north of 30 points a game, obviously that's going to get a lot of press, a lot of ink, a lot of headlines. But, I've been high on your defense all year, and especially a kid like Jim Brady. I've been singing his praises, for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Tell us a little bit about him and what makes him such a good linebacker.
He's very instinctive. He's Jose, but playing linebacker in terms of his mentality and the things that we get in and out of. Again, we make whatever adjustments we need to make on defense, but we need somebody out there who's directing the show, and Jimmy does that. And on top of that, he's very, very physical. I mean, he's 6 foot tall. He's 225 pounds. And he runs downhill at the ball. And that's really been what we've tried to preach and what our kids have invested in terms of, defensively, is that, we need to be very physical. We need to, attack our opponents and play an aggressive style of defense. And the kids really buy into it, and Jimmy leads that from our perspective.
Yeah, when you look at some of these real good defenses around the Cal, Buna has a kid like Sammy Crouch, Mainland a kid like Colin Roberts, stuff in the middle, guys like Abdel Vasquez at Cedar Creek, and it seems like any good defense, you need that guy in the middle that's got some size, some speed, and really a mean streak that can set the tone for the defense.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree with that, and it's one of those things where you have a guy like Jimmy, and you can do some other things with some other people, and he allows you to play maybe take a little more, take a few more chances on the edge with pressure and things like that, because he's going to get it knocked down, and he's just to have him in the middle is just a luxury for us.
What's the feeling around campus? I'm sure there's a buzz about this team. You guys, like Jose said in the earlier segment, you set some goals. You wanted to knock off St. Joe. You wanted to get that home playoff game. Looks like both those things may be able to happen this season. What's the feeling on campus like, and the buzz around this football team?
It's a good one. I think we've had some success in the past, but nothing like this in terms of having a game from an opponent we're going to play in the playoffs on campus. So I think that the kids at the school are excited about that. But again, our whole MO has been that we need to get to the state playoffs and we need to win games. For us, we're well past the hey, we're happy to be here type of thing.
Sure, yeah.
Whether we can do that or not is, we have to do it. But at the same time, you set goals at the beginning of the year, and one of our goals was not to get to the playoffs. One of our goals was to win the state championship, and that still holds true. And the kids believe that. We have to play like it, but at the same time, we're not going to run from that, and we're not going to shy away from saying it, because if your expectation level is to go 500, you're probably going to go 500. If your expectation level is to win a state championship, you need to set that goal to reach it. So that's our mindset as a team. I think our school community has bought into that, and we really haven't accomplished anything yet. We won our league, which is awesome, but in terms of our major goal, which is win the state championship, we've gotten ourselves into the playoffs, and hopefully we've gotten a state playoff game. Now we have to go play like we have all season and hopefully beat somebody.
We're talking with Mark Reardon, head coach of St. Augustine Prep Hermits football team, here on the South Jersey Sports Report 97.3 ESPN. Coach, how do you handle the next couple weeks? This is, like you said, you guys have expectations. You guys have dreams of winning that state championship. What's it going to take over the next couple weeks to get yourself in position to compete for that?
Honestly, and I mean this in the best possible way, I think almost preparation-wise, that ship has sailed a little bit. We're either ready or we're not. We're not. In 2 weeks, we're not going to reinvent ourselves. We are who we are. We'll continue to practice and prepare, but we're not going to become or more physical or any of those things in 2 weeks. So that stuff all occurs in the summer and preseason throughout the course of the season. So, I'm not going to, bring the kids in and they know what the deal is. They know, they've worked hard. It's about them. It has very little to do with me at this point. It's about our senior class and their expectation level, and we'll be prepared. The games that I have to spend the most time with talking to them about is the games where, as a high school kid, you have an expectation level that you're going to win it. Well, for these games, I don't have to get anybody fired up. They're ready to go. That's how this team is wired, and that's how our senior class is wired. So we're going to relax on our bye week. We'll practice a little bit this week. We're not going to bang much. We're going to take the week to get healthy, and then once we find out who we're going to play, we'll get ready to play them.
You working on a first draft yet of your playoff pregame speech?
Again, like I said, I may just have one of the seniors give it because.
Come on, Coach. This is your time. This is your time to shine.
Nah, if I have to say anything to those guys at that point, then I've done a bad job every moment leading up to that point. So, if you're not ready to play in games like that, you'll never be ready to play a game. So, from my perspective, and like I said before, this is about our kids. It's about the fact that they've invested the way they've invested in this program and in one another. And I know it's cliche, but it's the winning recipe. We break a lot of different things, but we break the family more than we do anything else. And the kids believe that. They love one another, and they've done a great job of committing to the things we're asking them to commit to.
Well, it's great to see you guys having success. Seems like you got a real good squad over there, a real tight squad. Good luck the rest of the way, and bring home that state championship, Coach. Let's do it.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much, and stick with us. Hopefully, we'll make the area proud if we can.
Hey, dream big, Coach. You never know, right?
All right. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
That was Coach Mark Reardon of the St. Augustine Prep Hermits.